I went from an income of over $110,000 a year, being married, to going and having 3 kids and living in a campground. And from the campground, we lived on couches or floors of relatives. And then we got an apartment, but it ended up being bug infested where I was starting to have my children taken away from me. And from there, we ended up living in a week-by-week hotel until I couldn't afford it.
I've got 6 kids, and I'm a single father, so it was very difficult. I was going house to house, staying at different projects, all over Spartanburg, east side, south side, north and the west.
When we tried to apply for a loan, we don't have a credit score because we just moved here. Then we have a lot of barriers. We visit a lot of, when we visit a new house, they tell us that they have a mortgage institution and they can lend us the money. But when we talk with them, they told us that we can have a loan because we don't have a score.
I was a single mom. I would struggle to try to pay the rent each and every month because the rent went up every year. There was no getting around it. Every year you had an increase in your rent, which of course took away from other things that you needed to do.
We were homeless for almost 5 years ago. Due to a house fire, we were renting and we lost pretty much everything. So we went into a shelter program, and the biggest obstacle that we ran into was that I had 5 children and I could not find a place to house us all that we could afford on our income.
Once you stayed on a waiting list, you had to continue to wait until you became qualified to through your income. It was an income base.
I didn't know how to fix anything, and thank God for the Northside Development Group. Is when they came in, they would show us how to do simple things like changing the washers in our sink on our sinks and in the tub, and I was all excited about that.
I think that means a person should be able to pay their rent or their mortgage and still have enough money left over to take care of all their other needs without any struggle.
Some people cannot afford housing. Just like I said, I stayed in different project complex, and it's very expensive with people with low income.
A duty for me to be successful in order to encourage others to take that chance, because a lot of people don't know that they have the power and the means to get that done.
You are sure that you are going to be able to pay, and you have more money for something.
It helps you to get ahead up, to help yourself where you can get yourself together as far as maybe being able to afford better living standard.
I really wanted to be able to get established in a place where I wanted to raise my kids, have them grow up there, and not have to be moving.
That was the hardest thing about being in any of our housing situations after my divorce, is not being able to keep my children safe. And that's huge. It gives you security, it gives you confidence, it gives you self-esteem. It's very important.
I would love to see more housing advantages, especially for young people, as far as living standard, where they can become homeowners.
you have to live in a safety place that looks good, that your kids can have a backyard that they can play.
There's this old rundown mill in Startex, on a back road of Startex, and it's deserted. And I used to drive by it all the time, and I used to think, wow, somebody or somebody's in a community would invest money into it. It would give people who are on the streets and living by the railroad tracks and tents and stuff a place to start.
I see families living in nice homes, children playing in the yard, barbecues and all of that. I'm an idealist, I guess.
It looks like the new America. It's just, it's just opening up, because I've been seeing all over Spartanburg and just this area, where people's with affordable housing, seeing the difference and the impact that it has on their lives.
I think there needs to be more programs, maybe more education as far as how to get a home.
I don't think that you have to be rich to own a home. I think if you take care of your small cottage, it's yours.